Hello, my name is Annick Corriveau, and welcome to the Opening Spaces series. Today I have a special guest, Mrs. Anne Stadler. Anne is a wise elder. Her specialty is offering services that support self-organizing individual and collective leadership. She opens space for the emergence of spirited leadership and inspired forms for collective evolution. She's a founder and organizer of local, national, and international peace efforts, and an award-winning television producer at King 5 TV in Seattle, Washington. Anne has decades of experience in guiding the formation of emergent communities. She's a pioneer and fluent practitioner of open space technology and appreciative inquiry. Welcome, Anne.
Well, thank you so much, Annick. This is quite a introduction.
It's such a delight to have you with us. I really love your sense of humor and you have such wonderful experience. I'm so happy that we have a chance to share it with our audience. Um, just as a first question, I'm wondering, what does opening space mean to you, Anne?
Yes, thank you for that question. It means actually opening a circle of belonging to life, of belonging to life. And it's not just a circle, actually. It's really three circles. But you know, when a person facilitates open space technology, one method of inviting the group into the play, if you will, is the facilitator walks the circle and looks at every person in the circle, acknowledging their presence and telling them that they are a gift to the whole community that's in this circle. And they're here because their gift matters. It matters to them and it matters to the whole. The other circle that the facilitator has had to open, in my view, is the inner circle, the circle between the spiritual and the material, and to so that they're as a space opener, you're literally an agent of the whole field. You're listening to the field, not just to people like you and me and the materials people, but the whole field, the invisible field that surrounds us, including, as many of our indigenous partners tell us, the ancestors uh, and the people who have been in that place before. Uh, and then basically the third space, the third circle that you're opening is the connections that everybody has that are in the circle to an ecology of organizations, of caring, um, of people taking an active interest in the subject that you're there to look at. Uh, uh, and so you're opening this wider ecology or network, and all in the service of belonging to life, or maybe belonging in life. That's what it means to me.
Mm, that's a
It's
very
literally the whole enchilada.
the whole what?
Enchilada, the whole enchilada. That's a idiom that I think I learned from my grandchildren.
And that's a very expensive definition of what opening space means, I find. Um, Now, you talked about opening space in open space technology.
Hmm.
As a facilitator, you've done that a lot.
Hmm.
Could you tell us just a little bit about how you discovered open space technology?
The space opened. That's literally how I discovered it. I was having tea with a good friend who was going to, she wanted to have tea with me because she was going to a meeting in India that had emerged from another meeting in Mexico that she had been at. And and I had just done a documentary about India, and I'd been in India myself for a month uh, a few years before that. And so she just wanted to learn something about what she should expect. And she came over for tea, and I asked her, "Well, what are you doing there?" And she tells me, "I'm going to an open space about the business of business is technology. The business of business is learning. The business of business is learning." And I looked at her and I said, "What?" I'm a television producer at that point, remember? I said, "Well, I knew that was a, a place I needed to go." I said, "Well, that's what I do." I mean, and she was going as an educator. I said, "That's what our business is. And we're learning for the community what the community cares about, and then we're telling them what they care about and helping them learn from each other. That's our business." And so, how can I get to go? Says I. And so that moment, she said, "Well, Harrison Owen's the one that's organizing this." And I said, "Well, do you have a phone number?" So we called him up right away. And luckily, he was at the other end of the telephone. And she explained the my need. And he said, "Sure, tell her to come." There's Harrison welcoming the stranger. And and within, probably an hour, we had called Mahesh, who was the host in Goa for the meeting. And by the time my husband got home that day, I was all set to go to India. and, and I was still, I did not know. I was not a business person. I was a television producer. I was a journalist. I knew I was not going there because I was a journalist. I thought I might be going because I could influence the business was in, if whatever I would learn. And yeah, when I came back, I tried to influence the business I was in, but the guy who was the general manager had been fired. And the other, it's a long story, but I quit in about 3 months after that because I could see this was not going to happen, even though I was in a wonderful company and we had done amazing work. The, the end was nigh, and something else had opened for me, which I didn't really know what it was. And by the way, I make the distinction between opening space and open space technology because when Harrison was in India, and at the end of our gathering, uh, there was an Indian newspaper that wanted to interview him. And Mahesh said to him, "Listen, you can't go and get interviewed about open space. That doesn't make any sense to anybody listening. I think you should call it open space technology because that's really what you're offering, a technology for opening space, the, thereby open space technology." So there's a verb, opening space, or to open space, and there's open space technology, which is a tool for opening space, which can take many different forms, but all the forms rely on the acknowledgement that you are opening a circle of belonging in life, I think.
And from that point, open space technology became a big part of your professional life.
It turned out it was the next part. Uh, I
And
mean,
what
I worked with Harrison right at the beginning and helped him do a video about what his ideas, and then we did trainings together. And I hung up my sign as as a facilitator, much to the surprise of my friends, some of them who um, thought that I should go back to school and learn how to do organization development. But I already knew a lot about that because a television producer is a consummate team builder. And so it didn't take me long to fit into the milieu that I aspired to be in.
mm, How do you open space in your daily life now?
I do it in so many ways that, well, let's take one example. Um, Something happens that is really disturbing to me and that is unexpected and I didn't like it at all. And I have learned that I need to greet it as an opportunity. Uh, Both learned from doing, but also from the work of Arnie Mindell, process-oriented psychology, that basically there's always a secondary process that you're living in, as well as the primary process you are doing right now. And so what the secondary process that you don't know about yet, but the field does, is knocking at your door. And the knocking can be a little tickle, come on, pay attention. Or it could be, which, which in my case, recently I fell down and I'm like, why did that happen? This is, what am I supposed to learn? So my first question is, what do I need to learn? What
Mhm.
is here for me to learn? Because the answer is, this is yes from the universe. This is not no. This is not you're bad. This is yes. There's something here for you to learn. Um, Another application is in a relationship. I have a relationship with a very significant one with somebody I completely disagree with on many, many subjects, but we have a nice vibe, in just in general. And so my side of this is I need to learn more about this person. I need to ask questions instead of making assumptions. I need to listen for the little connector. That's another way. Um, Another would be in a circle of, several of us who got together to do something together. I'm listening for what either is the thing everybody's overlooking, but some one person is trying to get us to pay attention to, or I'm listening to what is not said, but keeps blinking in my mind. Hey, what about this? And my job is not to tell people what to do, but to ask a question. So they begin
Mhm.
to look at that place. That's opening a space. Um, is that good enough? I mean,
Well,
do
that's a
you?
good start. I
I also, I do forms of opening space and did. I don't do as much anymore because I don't want to be doing a lot of external facilitation, but uh, I do. I do facilitate large group open spaces. I do training as a pro bono activity with or mentoring with people who want to learn. Um, I do writing sometimes as ideas and issues come to me, opportunities come to me. So those are all ways of opening space. Also, opening space, I'm fascinated with um, ideas that come to me about what to pay attention to. And right now, I'm in the grip of really listening for information and looking for inviting information to about music and the vibration of music and celebration and what does that, how do we learn from that and express ourselves through that and help to change the world around us. Uh, that's, so it's on all levels that I'm noticing that I'm opening
mm.
inquiry. I'm opening inquiry. I'm opening the capacity for learning. And the acceptance of whatever walks in is what's meant to be paid attention to.
There's so much to explore with you, Anne, about opening space, and I love the way you're talking about questions
Mm,
because open space technology events start with a big open question.
yes.
And you're talking about opening space in our daily life simply by asking questions.
Mhm.
Questions to the universe, questions to people we don't necessarily agree with. Um, yes, that's beautiful. And just as a last question for today, because if you'd like, I would really love to pursue this conversation with you. Um, how does your experience in India influence the way you open space
Oh,
now? Because you told me that you spent 30 years working each year in India with a partner, a business partner there.
yes,
So how does that experience influence your way of opening space?
it influences it in every possible way, because the fact is that when Anil Sachdev, that's his name, and I first met up, um, I think we were both a little confounded by, well, what would we do together? But we knew that we wanted to work together or to learn together somehow. He's about the age of my oldest son. So I have watched his whole family grow up. It's been wonderful. Um, and so we, uh, and India has a very key place in my heart. I'm a follower. I was a follower of Gandhi, interested in Gandhi when I was sophomore in high school, and Rabindranath Tagore, the poet and philosopher, same thing. So anyways, all of the learning that I have done related to opening space, except for learning with Harrison and in the work I started then to do here, was with Anil. And the opportunities he gave me to partner with him, to do workshops and to work with his clients. And he was a consultant for many years, and now he is the founder and principal of director, CEO of School of Inspired Leadership, which is a master's level program located in Delhi, in Gurgaon, near Delhi. And so, there is nothing about opening space and appreciative inquiry that I did not first learn and try out and work with and get all of my feedback about, from India. And luckily, he also, though he's privileged and is working with business and corporations, his work has always included the community in which a corporation is located. So I've had the benefit of his contact and placing me in situations where I'm noticing, listening, watching, learning, and his confidence that I can do that. I once asked him when we were doing an open space with the National Dairy Development Board, which is the technical uh, helper group of the big uh, milk cooperative, AML, and they have farmers and a farmers union, and then their technical group, the NDDB, and so forth. Anyhow, so I'm facilitating an open space with him for AML, and uh, I was in this conversation, which included a farmer who posted something, and his interpreter to me. It was in the local dialect, I think, rather than Hindi. And the uh, uh, somebody from NDDB was telling me what this said, and then I'm listening, and everything is flowing very smoothly, and I think I'm understanding, and so everybody walks away, and later I said to Anil, I don't know if I fit. Okay, am I connecting with people? Oh, he says, you're doing great. He said, you're in the vibe. and somehow, people come in to help you or whatever, but you get it, whatever you're paying attention to. Uh, so that was, I feel so grateful, and I feel like it's the universe. put this on my plate. I never would have expected to have any of this happen ever if it hadn't been for that opportunity walking in the door and me knowing, yes, I have to do this.
Yes, and you taking the first step when your friend told
Yeah,
you about open space in Goa over tea.
yeah,
You really vibrated you sensed it in your body that it was the place to be, I guess.
yep, yeah. And my husband had confidence and trusted that I trusted in a way that allowed me to know what was right,
Mm.
what was right in my life and in my life. Yeah. So at the deepest level, yeah, I'm very grateful for this. It just opened up the whole world to me. Uh, and I'm having a wonderful time.
Thank you so
So
much.
I heartily endorse opening space.
Thank you very much for your sharing today, Anne. It was too short, but I feel that there is so much more to say. So if you like, I invite you for another interview so we could maybe talk more about these three circles you mentioned at first and many other topics you brought up.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne. So see you at another interview. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. It was a first for our series, and we invite you to follow us. Bye.